Hello, welcome
Hello.
to
Thank
the
you.
fifth episode of this.
Yay.
Uh, this little thing that started at over the summer. I'm
I'm
joined,
so excited to officially be on here.
yes, I'm joined by the wonderful Miss Mikayla Fields.
Hello, everyone.
So, usually I start off with like a question that I think I already asked you, during
Yeah.
our first little thing, but I'm gonna change it up. So, how has as you've been like starting out as a state officer and as you've been going through your first few events as being a state officer, so like the county fair in Louisville, um, going to Kentucky, the FFA camp in Hardinsburg, just how was that like? Have you been like a bit surprised about like I guess the how people see you and versus how you see yourself?
It's been such a weird transition point because honestly, we had my region's first freshman leadership conference a couple of weeks ago, and a girl came up to me and was like, "Oh my gosh, I did a presentation on you in class." And I literally was like, "You did a presentation?" Like what? And it's been really cool to see the transition with our entire team of people see both we see ourselves as people, but they look up to us and seeing how much of a difference we can make in other people's lives, whether we realize it or not. And just people remembering what we say and actually taking our advice to heart. And it's been a really fun time.
Yeah, like I remember on like one of the last days, you gave like this little impromptu speech. I remember that. And you were talking
Yeah.
about like the importance of like starting now and just going for it. And I was like,
Yeah.
even if that point you didn't even realize that's good. Someone's gonna remember that. Someone there is gonna remember that and like take that to heart. Which I guess you probably weren't even thinking about it at the moment.
No, I was thinking about how nervous I was on that speech, honestly. That was my first ever, impromptu speech that I didn't have any bullet points. I didn't have anything, and I was just going off what was in my head. And honestly, that's one of the best speeches I've gave was at camp. And the fact that people can remember that, because honestly, I don't remember what I said because I spoke from my heart. So the fact that other people took that to heart and really have been living through my advice has been really sweet.
Yeah. I've always loved things like where you just come up with it there and then. Those have always been the things I've always liked to do. I said
Yes,
this,
I love that as well.
yeah. I I said this to one of my advisors yesterday because it was our like first ever true like I guess like full chapter meeting, and I he was
Yeah.
saying, "Hey Connor, did you get that presentation done for our committee?" And I was like, No," and it was like, "I can't get mad. I also do that. I also work great under pressure." And then I got it done. So
Yeah. I think some of your best work is done under pressure because I also work like that.
yeah,
Sometimes it's at fault, but I think it works out all in the end.
yeah. As long as you don't like overdo it, and you at least like set time.
Yeah.
Because he said
Yeah.
to because he said to me that he like get distracted extremely easily when doing stuff, but like when he
Mm.
knows he has to get it done and he knows it has to be good, he can just
Yeah.
focus in on it and get it done.
I'm the same way as that, honestly. I remember some of my best speeches I've talked through on the car ride there, wrote some points down right before. I actually did a speech Thursday, I think it was, and I did exactly that, and it's just more from the heart that way, I think.
Yeah. And I kind of did something similar for the Kentucky Farm Bureau Outstanding Youth Speech Contest last week,
Hey.
which was super fun. And I knew what I wanted to talk about. I had some like I guess mental like things in the back of my head that I was like, okay, at this point I'm gonna say this, but everything else I was like, I wouldn't like I know what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna be confident about it, and I went through it and I felt pretty good about it.
Honestly, confidence is key. If you don't feel confident and portray the confidence, other people will pick that up, even though up here might not be that way. Because I can tell you, almost never am I confident about what I'm saying, but I have a way of like getting the nerves out of my voice, and it just somehow works out. I don't really know how, but it's really fun. Have you been doing much else this school year? What have you been getting into?
So, for the school year, it's there we just like wrapped up like a week or two or a week and a half ago our first fundraiser, which was fun,
It's fun.
which was very successful. Um, one of our officers, our reporters, she sold like $1,700 around that of mums,
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
and and that's like the first fundraiser of the year, so that's been exciting to just like
Yeah, that's a great way to start off.
get like kicked off on like such a great thing, and then our then besides that I've been uh I've been like going to meetings for and like beginning meetings for got myself interested into some other competitions, so I've been like
Hey,
asking about senior parliamentary procedure and stuff like that.
that is a really good competition to get into.
Yes, I
I did
did.
that 1 year.
Yeah.
It's definitely a hard competition, but I
I
think it's worth it.
I did a junior parliamentary procedure last year and I had a blast. So I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to it, especially
I think
because
you would be great at it.
thank you. Especially given that a lot of people on our team this year are seniors and
Somebody has to take it up.
someone has to take it up, and they're also going to nationals for it.
Wait, that's amazing. Yes,
So
take that opportunity. Going to nationals, I've never competed at nationals or honestly even competed at state that wasn't like a, "Oh, you're gonna do this. I'm telling you 2 days before." So it's really an amazing opportunity that not everybody
so
gets to have.
I I'm happy. I'm hoping that we can do when I start doing it in the spring and late winter that we can do as
Um,
well. Which knowing who my coach is, because it's Mr. Bustle, uh, and he's
he's amazing. Yeah.
I looked at their I forgot what it was called, but it was like it's like the book of like parliamentary procedure. It's like this thick.
It's definitely good information to know though, because
It is, yeah.
honestly, like our county farm bureau runs off parliamentary procedure. So it doesn't really go away.
Which is hey, it's just something to know because it's like you
Yeah.
might be put into a position where you need to know that because
You never
I think our uh not entirely sure, but I think our county might do it as well. Not county, region. I'm not
Yeah,
entirely sure though.
yeah, that would make sense that they would do that. Plus,
But
Lexington is a very big area, so I'm sure they
yes.
have to have some sort of order.
Yeah. Even with like because it's technically only two chapters in Lexington because
Yeah,
it's us and Carter G. Woodson, and even then it's still huge.
yeah. So
So that
where in Lexington is Locust Trace, like,
so
located?
Locust Trace is so you know where Scott County is?
Yes.
So we are just like we're like a few miles south of like Scott County. We are pretty
Okay,
northern up in Lexington.
yeah. I've always wondered that,
It's
but
it's near a prison, which I find funny. And
well,
we always tell we all I think this is something that we should tell like incoming freshmen about is that you will be hearing like shooting drills like almost every other day, and it's like in the morning especially, and it's like nothing to get worried about. Because when they first hear it, they're like freaking out, and it's like, don't worry. That's a good sign. It's a good
yeah,
it,
never thought about that.
yeah. And it's just in a pretty interesting area. I actually like looked into the history of Locust Trace not too long ago. Like apparently that land that Locust Trace is upon, we won in a federal like grant because like
Wow.
they like the Fayette County Board of Education pitched the idea to the U.S. Board of Education, and they agreed with it, gave them 80 acres of land to do it on, and
That's
they did it.
amazing.
I think it's pretty
Wow.
cool, and I
Do you
didn't
know
know
how
that.
long Locust Trace has been there?
It's been around since 2011,
Okay.
so all things considered, not really that long in like comparison to like a bunch of other chapters, obviously. But
Yeah.
just the amount of
But
stuff we've
y'all have
gotten,
been doing amazing
yeah,
things.
the amount of stuff we've gotten to do and just uh things we've been able to like achieve and like
Yeah.
people wouldn't be able to dream of in like 100 years we can do in 10, and I think that's crazy.
Yeah. You
And
all are renowned around the country because you have Caroline Growth
Carolina
that
growth,
came out of your
yeah.
chapter.
And this year's first years at Locust Trace are the first time people have been younger than the chapter. The first ever time people have like,
Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that. That's
yeah.
crazy.
So my sister, it's her first year there, and she's younger than the school, which is so weird because a lot of chapters are like decades and decades old.
Yeah. Ours, I think, went back at least 50 years
Yeah.
because we've been there a long time. A long time.
I just think it's cool that like an urban area gets this like agriculture center, and I think it's something that a lot more places should have because it's just
Yeah.
fun. Like I don't know a kid who goes into Locust Trace like disappointed.
Yeah.
It's
So
just
you had to pick going to Locust Trace, right? It's
yes,
a mag
yes.
school.
It's
Can you
it's
like
a
describe that process a little
so
bit? Because
it's a bit confusing
yeah,
when you
I
first
had
hear
no
about it.
idea.
So in your eighth to ninth grade school year, you don't have to have any background with ag. You don't even have to be in a middle school chapter, although it helps slightly, even though if you
Yeah,
can fill out the application, you're probably going to get in. So you
yeah.
just go to the Fayette County like Locust Trace website, you fill out the form, you select which pathways you would be interested in. So like we have six, that being food science, horticulture, environmental science, pre-vet, ag mechanics, ag sales, which is just equine science, but
Mhm.
goes into a lot of like they do a lot of like showing. They go over like a lot of showing stuff, so like showing
Yeah.
horses, and those are the ones I can name off my head. But you select which are your top three, and you submit that, and if pretty much it's honestly more impressive to not get into Locust Race than it is to get in.
Really?
Yeah. It's very like I love it because it's yes, it is a selection program that you do get hand
Mhm.
selected, but most people who actually sign up are gonna get in because it's not really competitive in a sense because it's like equal opportunity. Like everyone gets a chance. And when there are too many people, you'll be like put on like a wait list if anyone declines. So the the problem we run into from everything I've heard is that more people get put on the wait list, which I think is pretty cool because that means that we're not shrinking.
Yeah.
I
It's an
mean,
amazing opportunity to grow.
yeah.
So your entire school is an agriculture-based
Mm-hmm.
school?
Mm-hmm.
That is super cool. I'm gonna have to come visit sometime.
Yes. We would love to have you.
Has any of my teammates visited Locust Trace yet?
Um, that I can remember off my head. Not that I'm well Tyron has, but he's from Fayette
Yeah.
County. So
Yeah.
besides him, I don't think anyone has yet, not to my knowledge at least.
Yeah, I know some of my ag education friends from UK that
Hmm.
worked camp. They came and visited, and we were all talking about how Nasser was peeking through the windows when they came through.
uh, I love Nasser. He was yesterday during the we like had this like they were like serving like tacos and such and like cheese and him and Aaron were like, "You want cheese? You want cheese? You want cheese?" And
It's a
um
character.
they had a fun time till one of our one of the like not officers, Melanie, she's like in charge of one of the section of committees and pretty much look like stared them down.
Got the stank up.
I love Melanie.
Mhm.
She's the she was in my committee when I was going over the stuff, and I didn't have to worry about no one paying attention or anyone being on their phone because I knew if someone was, she would get there before I do.
You got your
She's
back. So, what
oh yeah.
committee are you?
So I am the committee secretary of the fundraising committee. So we are in charge of all the like fundraisers. Um, I'm not in charge of it. That would actually be my friend Eden Fluharty, but she's been sick for
Uh,
the past few days, so she couldn't make it. So I kind of had to run it, but it's fun.
so, what has your committee kind of been talking about? I know you just said you had a fundraiser. Do you have any ideas coming up?
So the actually I was talking to one of our other committees about this, but so we have another committee called community engagement. So it's called family and
Yeah.
community engagement. So we were talking, and she passed out these little post-it notes for kids to write their ideas of what a fun little event would be to like, because a lot of people don't like, especially in Lexington, because it is an urban area, don't really have much of a clue
Mm.
what FFA is or what
Yes,
Local
I can
Trace
understand
does.
that.
So it was kind of like a how to like talk to parents and people who don't really know much about Local Trace to like to teach them about what Local Trace is, or just like even to like just get them out there to like see it because it's
Yeah.
and we were talking about like different fundraising opportunities there could be during those events. So like we could be one of the events that a lot of people wrote was a winter dance.
That'd be
So
really fun.
it would so we were talking about like how we could maybe have like a small admission fee and those proceedings go to the chapter and also
Yeah, you all have an amazing opportunity with
yeah.
being all an agriculture-based school because I know some people run into the administration side of not wanting to get along with things, but everybody supports ag where you're at, and I love that.
Yeah, it's it's amazing. And I think I might have asked you this question, but like, how did you really get into agriculture or even FFA as a whole? Because
Yeah.
it's
So I kind of have a traditional background. If you looked right behind me, actually, I can show you. This is my backyard. It's a field, farms, and I'm actually home right now for one of the first times ever since I went up to college. Thank thank the Lord. But I came from a traditional agriculture background. My dad's a farmer, my brother's a farmer, my entire family is farmers. And I didn't really find my place within agriculture in that standpoint because I had seen it in the way of, oh, it's tractors, it's
yeah,
dirt, it's corn. And I was like, really, girl, how can I really fit into agriculture in that standpoint? And I didn't really find my place until the FFA. I originally joined FFA because it was a traditional thing for my family. And my dad had done it, my uncle, my cousins, my brother. And I was like, I can't break the chain. I can't be the one to break the chain. So
yeah,
I kind of did it for them and truly found out like how diverse the agriculture industry is. I fell in love with floral design and greenhouse science. And that's really how I found that I had a place in agriculture. But then that opened up the door of me figuring out that there is like the business side of what my family does, which is now what I'm going to do. An agriculture economics major at UK. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I originally thought that farming wasn't for me, and because of FFA, I'm back to my roots, and I would have never guessed that. So I surprise myself each and every day, but it's really been fulfilling, and honestly, it's changed my life. I don't think I would be where I am today if it wasn't that experience.
Yeah, and I will always like I think it's always cool whenever I see people like talk about their stories because like just the power of
Yeah,
storytelling can just bring someone in to like
that is very true.
FFA.
One of the things that I loved is we got to go to the FFA gala at Churchill Downs this year.
Hmm.
And one of the things is our call to action. And we all got to tell our stories about how the foundation has helped us and got to share our stories of how FFA has changed our lives. And everything fundraising based when it comes to the foundation is down to the stories and how it impacts each and every member in our state. And that's what I love. It's the special part about it.
Yeah, and I just think it's cool. And our region vice president is from Locust Trace, and she was during the leadership conference. She was talking about and I think it's pretty inspiring, especially when it is from someone not from a traditional ag background, especially talking
Yes.
to our kids because there's like off the top of my head that I know there's only three people at Locust Trace who even have a traditional ag background, and just
Yes. We
being
need
it,
everybody
yeah,
that's not from a traditional background. I like
yeah,
to say that farmers only make up 1% of the population, and that just keeps getting smaller and smaller when we don't want it to. So, to grow that number, we need non traditional ag backgrounds in order to stimulate the agriculture industry to be as good as it can be. So,
yeah.
we love everybody.
Yes, it's truly amazing. Like the 1 million members that we hit last year for the first time.
Yes. Yes, that is amazing. I'm curious to see what the number is going to be after this next time.
I know. I also can't wait to see how many people show up to national convention because it's only getting more and more.
Yes, and I love that. And
Yeah.
I'm really excited to get to see national convention from a different standpoint because I'd always gone as a member,
Hmm.
hadn't gone to every session, kind of just do what you want to do because you're there for fun more than you are just doing competitions and things. But I actually get to be a delegate on one of the committees and get to have my voice heard by the National FFA. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. The I just seeing it from a different perspective. Just like seeing it from when you're like sitting in the audience as a member and it's
Hmm.
and then seeing it when you're the one backstage or the one up front in those first few rows, just
Yeah,
there, just like having a
it's
different
really
perspective.
fulfilling.
Yeah.
It's really fulfilling. It honestly, being backstage and doing different things for my chapter or even in different organizations, that's kind of what motivated me to keep going. And I love the energy. State convention was always one of my favorite things. And the fact that I get to be on stage running a session this year blows my mind. So I'm slowly seeing all the different parts of FFA from every single different perspective, and I love it even more each and every day.
Yeah. My love for FFA and just agriculture just grows every single day. And like it grew even more yesterday with our first little meeting because I was like, it's just cool to be the instead of the one watching the presentation, being the one giving it. I've always been a bit of a people person and just being able to like share my love for just FFA as a whole is just fun.
Uh, so, how has your SAE that you started up since camp with this podcast? How has that helped you grow as a person?
It it's just been like I think it's been very just like fun and eye opening, and also like I use it as like a bit of advice to show like people that like it's not hard to get started in something. Like
Yeah,
it's never like too late to start because just and just having that courage to be like, okay, I'm gonna do it now,
Yeah.
and just
You have to have the confidence.
you have to have the confidence. And next year during hopefully during the new leadership student leadership conference, hopefully I'll be one of the ones hosting the workshops, and hopefully the SAE
Yes.
one, so I can like kind of share that, being like, hey, the best time to start is now, because
Yes.
especially
I love to say that. I love to say that personally because any opportunity you take, it's just you can't really wait around on it because you never know when the opportunity is going to go away.
yeah. And I've also kind of lived by the words that you told me, that you're put in this position for a reason. Like
Yes.
you are you are put in this position as a leader and as a person for a reason. Like
Yes.
if they didn't think you could do it, you wouldn't be here. And if you don't think you can do it, okay, well then let it be a challenge and let you overcome that challenge.
Yes, I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. And I'm really glad that you remembered those words because I try to live by that each and every day, even through state office. I think that if you're out of your comfort zone, it's not going to be comfortable. So it's okay to do things that are uncomfortable at the time, but that is a sign that you're growing as a person. And that's the one thing I've tried to echo to everyone I've talked to is to get out of your comfort zone and to know that you're worth it because you are put in these positions for so many different reasons. And I that's the one thing that I try to let everybody know is there's someone that has confidence in you, so you need to have confidence in yourself.
Yes. And whether it's like public speaking, don't worry. Everyone's afraid of public speaking. It's the number one fear.
It's the number one fear.
Yeah.
I'm
And
scared of public speaking. And look at me.
and just and it's like it can never hurt to try, because you try once and you don't like it, don't do it again. But if you try it and you do like it, keep doing it.
What's the worst that can happen? Yeah,
Yeah. The worst that can
I
happen
do
is that
agree.
you don't like it. And I kind of find it, I guess, pretty inspirational with your story as to become an FA state officer, because it's not really one that people, I guess, hear that often, because it's kind of a weird one, I guess, for
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the only sophomore on our team, so the fact that I was away from this organization for an entire year and then came back to it, and I never won a speaking competition. I actually maybe got highest 3rd place in my region, never went to state with a competition. Honestly, never even won a LDE. That I always only won CDEs because flowers were my thing and I could memorize that. But just figuring out that you just have to be you and you don't have to be 100% at everything because they just want you to be your authentic self at the end of the day. And everybody that does have the goal of being a state officer, I want them to be able to think it's attainable because I truly do believe that anything that you think you can do and put your mind to, you can achieve. It just takes some of the work.
right. And just the whole thing of, you don't need to be the best at public speaking. You don't need to be the best at whatever. You just need to be
Yeah.
able to, I guess, just being the best at like proving yourself capable, because not all leaders need to be the loudest one in the room. You can be a leader by just
Yes.
knowing what your like what the people, like your fellow members, want, and then meeting those demands. You don't need to be the one calling the shots. By you just being there and helping it where you can, that's still being a leader.
Yes, I agree with that. And one of the things we did at camp as a team is we always debriefed at the end of the night and kind of shouted out each other on what they did good for the week and making sure that everybody felt heard and loved. And one of the things that Aiden said about me was that I was always having the one-on-one connections with people. And I feel like that's where I shine the most is talking straight to somebody and not to a crowd because you can meet people in their moments for what they need in their specific situations way better than speaking to 200 people at a time. So I love touching people's hearts that way.
Same. And whenever I try to do whenever I do a speech, and I've kind of noticed that like whenever I try and write a speech where I'm writing it for a group of people and where it's like a I guess like traditional speech, I don't like it as much and I don't have as fun. But like when I write it as if I'm talking to them, as if like
Yes.
I'm like this is like a one-on-one conversation, I find that I have more fun with it because it's I don't think all speeches need to be this like uptight and like a like a I don't know, like traditional speech. It can just be you
Yes.
just talking about something that you're passionate about. It doesn't need to be this like you said, as if you speak from the heart, people are gonna notice that.
Yes, and I think people also like to see that you're a person. One of the things that I've tried to do writing all my speeches because I my one of my first speeches ever was in front of my county farm bureau talking about Eiffel, and I had a 5 minute wrote out speech, read straight from my paper, and nobody listened to a word I said because of how structured it was. But I went back this year and got to have a redemption round and built-in jokes to my speech, and they were way more receptive with it because I wasn't a robot, I was a person, and they definitely like to see the authenticity of it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I kind of did something similar. I think during it, I was like I knew it was like going to be a boring part of the speech because I was like going over numbers and like statistics, and I said, I know numbers scary, right? And then just kept on just like or just like putting in like little like things of like just jokes or just like things that like you you would say during like a normal conversation, like just making fun of yourself or just like having fun with it. Because if you can have fun giving the speech, then they're gonna know that, and
Yeah, I talked about my agricultural journey at the speech that I had on Thursday, and instead of saying that I didn't have a an agriculture journey that was on the straight and narrow. I compared it to my brother. He did have a path that was the straight and narrow. And I talked about how when he graduated preschool, he told my mom that he wanted to be a farmer without realizing that he had 13 years more of school to do. And everybody laughed at that. And it just is a more personal connection. And it's kind of like entertainment. You just got to keep people engaged and interested.
right, and just finding that human connection, which is what this whole thing's about, what this entire
Yeah.
podcast is about. It's a the whole like finding the human in officers and like for Dr. Park. I really wanted to interview him because I knew people know him. People know his name.
Yeah.
No one
And it's really hard to be disconnected from that, especially in such a large organization. He is the advisor of a million members in our nation, and a million people know his name, hopefully. And
hopefully
it's just hopefully they know his name. But just at the end of the day, we at Kentucky have 25,000 members, and not everybody gets to meet us. So this podcast is a great opportunity for people to see who we are as people and our journeys to get there. Because I remember during my time as a member, I really looked up to the state officers and I thought they were these perfect people that didn't get scared, didn't have any of these issues. But being in my shoes now, I can look back at it and be like, oh, so they were just as scared to do this workshop as I am. Okay, that
right.
makes sense. And just, I think it's really important for people to see that we are people because we're 18 and 19 years old.
Yeah,
I'll be 20 when I graduate or when I retire my jacket, but we are just people and we're not that much older than anybody else. And it just is a way for people to really look towards and make goals, and it doesn't seem attainable at a certain time. I didn't ever think that I was going to be here, but I hope the personal connection we can make with our members can inspire others to believe they can do anything.
you're just big kids in these corduroy jackets. It's like I like to think about it.
Exactly. I started my FFA journey my freshman year of high school, and I've been in that jacket for 6 years now. I'm probably the oldest one on our well, I am the oldest one in our officer team, but I might be the oldest one in the state wearing that jacket right now. Who knows?
I just think that's pretty cool. Well, thank you for joining me.
Yes. I'm so glad I got to catch up with you.
Yes. I will see you at National Convention.
Yes, I'm so excited to see you there. Bye, Connor.
Yes. Bye.